home. I want to take you to my village. It's called Veinta, B-E-I-N-T-C-A, BEINTZA in Basque. And one of the things I wanted to be talking today is about the houses, the Basque houses. So we're gonna see the difference between a normal house, Basque house, and indiano house. An indiano house, it's somebody who went to the Americas and returned. That's what we're gonna be seeing today. I am super happy to bring you my village where I have my house. So let me start with all of this. Let me see, camera wants to turn around. So Veinta is a very, very small village. We're only 213 people living in here. And we are 40 miles away from Pamplona, and we are 40 miles away from San Sebastian, from the coast. Okay, the church that you have right in front of you now, it is the church of St. Peter. It is from the 16th century, 1500s. Okay, it's a beautiful, beautiful old church that we have here. Another thing, hola Susana, so good to see you. One of the other things that we have in all the Basque villages is a fronton where we play pelot, okay? It's one of the big, big things. Sorry for the wind, because it's kind of a very windy day here in Veinza. The word Veinza, we really don't know where it comes from, okay? It is a Basque word that, for some people, it says that it means the place that is underneath, okay? While there's other villages higher in elevation that they're called Gainza, which is on top, okay? So this is a place where it's underneath. Really, we're only 1,400 feet over sea level, okay? So really, that's why we're known to be underground, let's say, not underground, but we're at the deep part of the valley, okay? We don't go all the way up there, we are all the way down here. The history, or the first time people talk about Veinta in here, we have to go back to the year 1192, when the King of Navarra, Sancho VI, gives the city of Veinta the privilege of being a village, okay? Middle Ages. So from the 12th century is when we do have here the first time it's written. So most of the houses are a little bit later. Okay, most of these houses are going to be from the 15th, 16th, 17th century. Okay, one of the things I love about Veinza are all of these ovens that are in the houses. You know, this, as you can imagine, up there you have the kitchen, and that is an oven to bake all the goods and everything. So really the tradition of baking in this village is still very, very strong. All the forest that you see around, we have beech trees, we have oak, and we have chestnut trees. So all of this area, it's big in all of this wood. For many years, the woodwork was a very, very important, okay? People cutting trees down and replanting them and the whole thing. Another thing that I love about Veinza is that everywhere you go, you're going to find all these privately owned little vegetable gardens. Here you see all the winter, the cauliflowers, you have leeks, the winter vegetables. So this is so beautiful. I mean, you cannot have fresher food than that, okay? Unfortunately, there are some houses that are under ruined, and although there's a new vibe, a new thing of young kids coming back to the village, we don't have a lot coming back, okay? So we do, okay, one of the things that happens in small villages, it's this band. What is this? Normally there's nobody here. I don't know if you can hear. What they do is they come from village to village collecting any old electronic devices that you have. Okay. So what they collect are your old fridge, your old whatever. So in all of these villages, as there's not too many of these services, people comes and collects, and obviously they make some money out of it. Okay, one of the big improvements that took place at the end of the 1800s, beginning of the 1900s, they were these places. Before that, the ladies would have to go to the river and break the ice, especially in the winter, and to wash the clothes and everything. On the the end of 1800s, beginning of the 1900s, they did all of these places. Okay, this one is from 1903, where you have running water, you have a fountain, okay, but also back there you have a place to do the laundry. Okay, so everybody would come in and do the laundry at the same time. Hola James, so good to see you. So really all of these places, they were a huge improvement from the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. Okay, so really that made an amazing improvement around all in Spain. Okay. Hi. So about the houses. In the Basque culture, the house is probably the most important thing. In Basque house, we say etxe, E-T-X-E, etxe or etxea, E-T-X-E-A. The thing is that for us, the house, it's our home, is what represents the whole thing. I mean, really, the Basque culture without a house would not be the Basque culture. So houses is where the whole family lives together. Normally houses are super, super big, okay? Let me turn around. All the Basque houses tend to be very large. The reason is because there was like 15, 20 people living inside of these houses, okay? So really all of these houses are very big, and one of the things I love is that everybody keeps very good track of them and takes very, very good care. Everybody's very proud of their house. Okay. He's back. Get out. Anyway, so as I said, there's a car coming. That's my neighbor. He's probably gonna run over me. No, he's not. Hi. So, I'm telling you about the houses. Everybody takes very good pride in taking care of the houses. I think all of these houses have all of these magnificent details. Look at the detail of that window. I mean, that is so delicate and so well done. About the symbols that we have in both shutters, that is called Lauburu. It means the four heads, and it's a symbol that represents the four powers of nature. A very, very Basque symbol that you're gonna find if you come to the Basque Country absolutely everywhere. Well, one of the houses that I love the most in my village, it is this one. It's called Dolarea. It's probably the largest one. As you can see, it has a defensive heritage. Okay, this one dates to the 1500s, 16th century. All of these little places to put the arrows and everything. So we really have here a house that it was a palace a long time ago. It was more defensive. It is the entrance of the village, so it had to be a very strong and very powerful type of house. Okay, let me show you the house, Dolarea, from the front, because I think it's really a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful house. This type of houses, this is the whole traditional house here in the Basque Country. At the ground level, we're gonna find, back then, the animals, okay? The first and second floors, we would have the family living in, where they still live. And on the rooftop, where you find the little windows, it's where the grain was storage for the winter, okay? So everybody would live inside of this house with the animals and the whole thing. Now, in Spain, for sanitary reasons, but all of these first floors, they're not allowed to have animals, okay? Farming animals have to be outside of the house, but the house is still gorgeous. But this is the traditional type of house here in the Basque Country. The one that it's not, it is our house, which is this one. This is called Argentina, and it is a totally different house from the rest houses in the village. Why? Because this house, our house, it's a house for indianos, constructed by an indiano. What was an indiano? What is an indiano? An indiano was a person from a family. In fact, the person who constructed this house comes from Dolarea, who had to migrate to the Americas. Remember that Christopher Columbus, when he discovered America, or the route with America, he thought he was reaching India. So for us in Spain, all the people that went to the Americas, they are called indianos, like if they were going to India. Okay, so that's why this house is totally different. It was done by an indiano. What are the differences? First of all, in this house, on the first floor, we're gonna go inside, don't worry. We do not have animals. This is a more recreational. The second thing, look at the windows. This is a crystal house. I mean, it has more windows than walls. Very high ceilings, while the other ones have much shorter ceilings. So really the houses are a little bit different, okay? So the name of this house is called Villa Argentina, Argentina house, and the reason is because he went to Argentina. Don Felipe, the one who constructed the house, okay? That's why the house is painted in white and blue, like the Argentinian flag, okay? So let's come in. Welcome home, everybody. Let's come inside. So as you can see, it's called Villa Argentina. And let me show you my house. So you can see how an Indiano house looks like. Okay, so as we walk in, the first thing we see is a huge, let me close the door so the heat doesn't go out, a very big living room, something that back then it was quite a fancy thing, okay? Normally, normal houses, Basque houses, would not have a space like this. Here, what we have done, we have accommodated, especially my favorite place, is this little reading corner that we have here. And one of the things that we have preserved at home are all of these details. For example, that suitcase was owned by my grandfather. He went to South America. He was an Indiano himself. And that is the one that more than 100 years ago, he crossed the ocean when he was only 14 years old. Right? So really, it's a beautiful, beautiful treasure that we have here at home. Another thing that it's different from Indiano houses, we do have a library, okay? In the rest of the houses, there are no libraries. You have to understand that when this is constructed, having a library was a huge, huge, huge privilege, okay? People from the village could come over here to read. They could come over here and read. So imagine what a privilege was to have a house with a library, okay? So we have bathrooms, yes, of course we do. We have all of these little bathrooms, but the heart of the house is always in the Basque culture, the dining room. With the chimney, we have a long table, cool, very, very cool, old furniture that belonged to our grandparents, great-grandparents, and everything. And the place is always the kitchen. Kitchens in the Basque country, I mean, you know that on Sundays we do the cooking classes. So really, we always gather around kitchens in the Basque country. So if you have space, like in this house, you always get together in the dining room, in the kitchen. That's why the kitchens are together with the dining rooms, okay? Because we spend all day eating, as you know by now. Another of the cool things about this house, which makes the house super special, let me take you to the back. It's this incredible, incredible view. Normally houses, the Basque house does not have, and the yard, it's for the animals. Here, we have always had a garden, okay? But a garden with these incredible, incredible, incredible views. I mean, to me, this is the most peaceful place on earth. I love our garden in here. It's magnificent. I love it. Let me take you to the first floor. Let me take you, so you can see the rooms, how Basque Indiano houses, rooms look like, okay? So we're gonna go up the stairs. Excuse me if it breaks a little bit, because as you can imagine, Wi-Fi and all this, we do have Wi-Fi here, but it's a rural Wi-Fi. So really it's not the best Wi-Fi in the world. It works, but not to perfection. Let me turn this around. So this is the large room. The rest of the rooms are much more normal. And well, something I love are these two benches. They would go to mass with these things. They would take them every day to mass. And well, look at the views from the window. It's like, oh my God. Can you imagine waking up here? It's heaven, heaven. And the rest of the rooms are, let's say, a little bit more normal. Okay, they're super high. I mean, I'm 6 foot tall, 6'1", and look at the window. It's like, oh my God, they're huge doors. They are. I mean, they're really, really big doors everywhere around. When we got this house, we decided that we wanted to keep some treasures. There are so many things in our families that we decided to do some things with some of the things that we liked. For example, the floors must have it been redone. Well, let me show you, Steven. Steven, I'm gonna show you the floor. Okay, so this was done by Ainhoa's great-grandmother in 1885. So let's put it in value. So we decided to do this little frame with it. All the things that we love, for example, this cabinet. It was from my grandfather. I love it. It took me forever to restore this thingy. Okay, so really, it's a pleasure. And something that I love are all of these lace things. This is from a baby, okay, from the color of a baby. And I think that it's a master. It's this lace. This is silk lace from a wedding veil that has over 200 years old. And this is a little bit, look at all the details. You see how beautiful it is. Comes from France. And it was Ainhoa's great-grandmother's wedding veil. So my mother-in-law, who is a master in sewing, she restored it, and there were some pieces left, and we said, we cannot even throw away those tiny little pieces. So we decided to save them. So we were talking about the floor. Well, check the floor. The floor here is original. It's oak wood. There are some parts that unfortunately, we had to change because it was totally broken. So yeah, here we are. We do have most of it original floors. Okay. So what else I want to tell you? I want to. Let me go outside. Let me go to our terrace that I love so much. I don't want to fall. Because this is a house where I do the Basque Staycation tour. You know that if you check on travelingsteps.es is where we have our tours that we do here. One of the tours that we do is a Basque Staycation. What is the Basque Staycation? Well, we come over here, we stay in the house, and for a whole week, I will be with you 24/7. We'll be having breakfast here. After breakfast, we're off for the day, and we'll come back for dinner. Okay, we'll have dinner, home-cooked dinner here. So it's a really, really, really immersion type of holidays. The pros, the good things about it, it's really being in the Basque culture. I mean, we're in the Pyrenees, the Basque Pyrenees, a gorgeous surrounding. And I don't know, what can I say? I mean, you have, we only have 5 rooms, but we don't want to do this for 5 or 10 people because that's a little bit too much. So we would like to be maximum 6, okay? But if it's just 2 people, we'll do it as well. So imagine 2 for 6 people in here. We decide, well, I have a schedule ready, But we can decide where to go depending on weather, or if there's something more special that specific day somewhere else, we will go that place. So the Basque Staycation, it's let's discover as much as we can of the Basque culture. All right, so it's we did it this last year in 2022, and it was a joy because it was really sharing about our culture. It was really sharing about who we are, what we do, and we would go to Bilbao. We went to Bilbao one day. We went to San Sebastian, but also we went to small villages, and so we did a lot of things. That's what the Basque Staycation is all about. Those are the pros. What are the cons? I only see one bad thing. The bad thing is that we only have 3 bathrooms in the house, and 1 per level, 1 per floor. So we will have to share bathrooms. That's the only thing that is, maybe some people are not 100% into that. But if you can skip that little bump in the road, really, it's an amazing experience because it's the real deal. I mean, it's really, you want to leave the Basque culture from inside, that's it. Come over here. You can check everything about the Basque Staycation in travelingsteps.es. I don't have dates for 2023 because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to open all June. So if you want to do any week in June, we can figure that out. We can try to move schedules and see how we can do it. Okay, so minimum 2 people, maximum I would say 6 people. So, my friends, thank you very much for keeping up today with me. I hope you have liked my village, Veinta. You have learned a little bit about the difference between a traditional house and an indiano house. And also, you have learned a little bit about our Basque Staycation tour that you can find at travelingsteps.es. My friends, as we said last Sunday, unfortunately this Sunday we're not going to be able to join you in the cooking class, and next Tuesday we will not either. We're going to be away. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. I shall see you not next Sunday, but the next one. Adios, amigos.